Transaction management error: you can't execute queries until the end of the atomic block while using signals, but only during unit testing. I am getting transaction management error when trying to save a Django user model instance, and in its post_save signal, I'm saving some models that have the user as the foreign key. The context and error is pretty similar to this question. Django transaction management error when using signals. However, in this case, the error occurs only while unit testing. It works well in manual testing, but unit tests fails. Is there anything that I'm missing? Here are the code snippets. views.py. signal.py. test.py. traceback.
I ran into this same problem myself. This is caused by a quirk in how transactions are handled in the newer versions of Django, coupled with an unittest that intentionally triggers an exception. I had an unittest that checked to make sure a unique column constraint was enforced by purposefully triggering an integrity error exception. In Django 1.4, this works fine. However, in Django 1.5.1.6, each test is wrapped in a transaction, so if an exception occurs, it breaks the transaction until you explicitly roll it back. Therefore, any further operations in that transaction, such as my do_more_model_stuff, will fail with that django.db.transaction.TransactionManagementError exception. Like Kayo mentioned in the comments, the solution is to capture your exception with transaction.atomic-like. That will prevent the purposefully thrown exception from breaking the entire unittest transaction.
Since Adam Koistener never made his comment and answer, I'll post his suggestion so people won't have to dig through comments. Consider just declaring your test class as a transaction test case rather than just test case. From the Django docs, a transaction test case may call commit and rollback and observe the effects of these calls on the database.
If using PyTest Django, you can pass transaction equals true to the Django_DB decorator to avoid this error. See this URL. Django itself has the transaction test case, which allows you to test transactions and will flush the database between tests to isolate them. The downside of this is that these tests are much slower to set up due to the required flushing of the database. PyTest Django also supports this style of tests, which you can select using an argument to the Django_DB mark.
Here is another way to do it, based on the answer to this question.
If you want to see more, please consider subscribing.